Get started. So thank you all so much for joining our What's New in ServiceNow webinar today. We're going to be discussing everything that's new for asset management for the Now platform Xanadu release. My name is Faith, and I'm a product marketing associate, and I'm going to be joined today by Brian Blackburn, who's going to share going over the overview of our different products with us. And then we also have Piyush Patel on the call, who's going to be going over a couple of exciting product demos for all of you. And then we also have our product managers in the chat who are here to answer all of your questions. You can feel free to use the Q&A button in the chat box to leave any questions that you want answered, and they can be answered along the presentation. And we're also going to have a dedicated Q&A time at the end. And with that, let's kick it off. So quickly before we begin, just to note, this presentation may contain forward-looking statements that are based on our beliefs and assumptions based on information currently available to us. Please do not make any purchasing decisions based solely on this presentation. All right. And then this is kind of a little overview of what's on today's agenda. We're going to go and explore the latest innovations across all of our products. So that'll be software asset management, cloud cost management, hardware asset management, and enterprise asset management. And like I called out before, we're going to have a dedicated Q&A time with our ServiceNow, ITAM, and EAM product experts. And that's going to be a time for you to ask any questions you want live through the chat. Oops. Oh, sorry. And then this is a little bit of a deeper dive into what we're going to be going over today. So as you can see, we're going to have a couple of really exciting product demos. You can notice anything that has a check mark, that's going to be our live demos that we're going to share with you today. So that's for our cloud cost management, we have one, for hardware asset management, and then for enterprise asset management. And then for the other products, we're just going to go over and do a quick little review over everything. And yeah, and also you can notice that hardware asset management and enterprise asset management are going to share a couple of features. So we're going to stack that in the middle so there's not too much repetition. But yeah, if that's everything, then we can get started with what's new in software asset management. We have two new exciting features that we're excited to share with you all. So first off, we have Software Inventory Analytics, which is a new dashboard designed to increase visibility to CMDB information with day zero insights. With this, you can examine and address any issues pertaining to discovery, normalization, end of life, and version sprawl using integrated workflow. As you can see here in this screenshot, there's different dashboards to manage each of these categories and more. For an example, in the optimization and savings dashboard, you can view metrics on how to maximize and save costs on your software assets. Additionally, in the lifecycle management dashboard, here you can review and track the end-of-life software products in your asset estate. Overall, all of these workflows can come together to help you anticipate risk and remediate your end-of-life software. These insights will help you reduce time to value and also reduce delays in tackling software license compliance that can occur when you don't have access to proper inventory analytics and pre-licensing information. All right, and then next, the second and final feature that we're going to highlight for software asset management today is SAP Digital Access License Management. SAP Digital Access is a licensing method for indirect usage. Indirect usage can include using a third-party application to perform actions in this SAP system. It can include entering data in the SAP system from a third-party application. It can also include viewing data in the SAP system from a third-party application. SAP Digital Access License Management brings new updates to the SAP ABAP Store app to gather digital access document creation numbers from SAP clients and systems via SAP Passport or estimation reports. You can better manage licensing with updated content data to identify each document product type and the ability to create entitlements. Different document types that are include sales, purchase orders, invoices, financial orders, and more. You can also use this dashboard view to confirm compliance using document types and count from various clients and systems. And lastly, you can ensure accurate license usage tracking, compliance, and under and overutilization with the reconciliation process. Overall, these new metrics will make managing licensing for SAP Digital Access much easier. All right, and that's everything for SAM today. And now we're going to transition into cloud cost management. While we only have one new feature that we're going to highlight, we are really excited to share it with you all as it relates to AI services, a really hot topic, and we're also going to display our first demo from Piyush. So with that, let's dive right in. So the first and only feature that we have is spend management for AI services. As we all know, AI has been a really hot topic that everyone is talking about. Every company is quick to jump on. Everyone wants to, invest a lot into AI. However, a lot of these organizations can be too quick to invest without taking a step back to evaluate the return on investment and what service is actually best suited for their business needs. For example, AI services like ChatGPT continue to release updated versions like ChatGPT 3 versus ChatGPT 4. And customers may be tempted to always purchase the newer, more expensive versions to stay updated without considering if they would actually utilize the new features in these new versions to justify the higher cost. Additionally, limited visibility on AI spend can lead to ineffective projects and contribute to higher spending services that are being overlooked. With ServiceNow Spend Management for AI services, this empowers you to choose the service best suited for your business through detailed analytics about your AI spend and comparative analysis of different AI services and also versions. You can leverage budgets and alerts to assess AI spend and align it with your business innovation and specific operational needs. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Piyush to go more in depth about what spend management for AI services can offer you. So let's start off with our first demo of the day, and I'm going to transfer screen sharing to Piyush.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Faith. Can you confirm you can see my screen?
Yep, looks good.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks, Faith. And hello, everyone. Cloud spending in the market is growing fast, and much of that spending is wasted. In a world where AI drives business innovation, effective cost management is very crucial. With our new feature, you can easily optimize your AI service expenses and make better strategic decisions, all in a user-friendly interface. Meet Ravi, a cloud finance and operations manager responsible for managing cloud spending at his company. He's got a lot on his plate. And on top of that, he's been asked by his CIOs to find ways to save cloud cost. So Ravi starts with Cloud Cost Management Workspace. The Workspace serves as a centralized hub for information on cloud spend, optimizations, budgeting, departmental usage, and accountability. Here, he instantly sees that his organization is spending 20% more than previous month, which significantly impacts his budget allocations or budget guidelines. But he also notices there's a great opportunity for saving money, which he'll make sure to look into. But first, Ravi wants to dig deeper into spending. So Ravi looks at forecast spending. Ravi looks at the forecast spending, and he immediately notices that there is increased spending in Azure cloud spending. So to look into, he knows this is tied to the AI spending. However, with ServiceNow, he doesn't have to assume where the spending is coming from. So he digs right into the analytics to review the details further. Here he can change the data for the last 3 months and filters on AI services under Azure. And this is really where he can group and filter out the cloud cost data to simplify his cost analysis. Right away, he notices an increase in AI spending tied to Azure Bot, Azure API services. So Ravi then decides to check, what is his daily spending might be to spot any sort of changes, right? So for that, he goes to the spend dashboard. This is where Ravi is able to catch any anomalies that might be happening in his cloud spending. And right away, he noticed spikes related to the machine learning. He's also aware of Carla, who is part of the Cloud Center of Excellence team overseeing Gen AI strategy. So he decides to check Carla's budget to see if she might be indeed overspending. To do that, he goes to the budget dashboard and sees that Gen AI budget is under control for now. When he adds the forecast, Carla's budget falls significantly. Her budget is significantly out of the the budget. So now Ravi can take these data, work with Carla to raise awareness of spending and use ServiceNow for that data-driven conversation and prompt action. So in summary, an effective cloud cost management solution normalizes data across multiple providers, ensuring that seamless management and efficient cost optimization through a dedicated management workspace. And with that, that's everything I plan on showing in this short tech bite. But to learn more about how AI spend management can help your organizations, please continue to check out the community page for additional Xanadu release videos. And so with that, next we're going to cover what's new in our hardware asset management module. So back to you, team.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Piyush. I'll let Faith take a second to share our deck back. Awesome. But again, wanted to thank you again, Piyush. And now that we have looked at both our software asset management and cloud cost management products and with the features that are coming out in Xanadu, let's go ahead and turn our attention to our physical assets. And I think, oh, there we go, Faith. Thank you.
Sorry about that. I think the wrong view was sharing. Let's try that again.
Ah, there we go.
Back to the presentation. All right. Is it right this
Perfect.
time?
All right. And again, so now having taken a look at SAM and CCM already, let's go ahead and take a view towards our physical assets and what's new in hardware asset management and enterprise asset management. Next slide there. Thank you. All right, so we're excited to share how our zero-touch capabilities for hardware asset requests are revolutionizing the way that we're fulfilling hardware needs and collaborating with our trusted hardware vendors. So when an employee requests an asset, there are many steps along the way with various teams included in that process. So you'll have like your procurement team, your HR, and your IT team, for example, all have to work together to ensure your employees get their assets quickly in order to keep productivity high. So Zero Touch Request helps improve the hardware fulfillment process by integrating directly with your external providers or vendors to help you streamline and automate that entire hardware request process, all the way from that initiation to the delivery of that asset. And this is going to help you reduce manual intervention from your internal teams and help ensure that you're fulfilling requests a lot more quickly. So our goal is to help you both save time and reduce logistical overhead with a trusted automated process for asset requests. So once an asset request comes in, run the process in collaboration with your vendors to ship assets directly from the external vendor to your employee's doorstep. So great feature here. Again, you might have been aware of our zero touch refresh workflow. So this is another extension of just another workflow that we're helping to automate with Xanadu release. But next slide, please, Faith. Thank you. So next, we're introducing a new application to help you transform the way your business manages assets that are in the device as a service model, enabling seamless tracking and enhanced asset management for our customers and their clients. So Device as a Service is a subscription-based model that allows businesses to lease their technology, like their hardware, from manufacturers or managed service providers. So ServiceNow offers a comprehensive solution for businesses to efficiently optimize the lifecycle of assets being used by their clients. So you'll gain a proactive, a governed, and automated lifecycle solution designed to serve the needs of multiple personas at your organization. So you have the program manager responsible for account management and onboarding. You have the asset manager responsible for the lifecycle of the devices. And then you have your inventory technicians responsible for maintaining devices for the optimal performance. So the Device as a Service workspace provides a full lifecycle visibility across the full asset estate, meaning you can ensure asset orders are fulfilled efficiently with tasks to pick, prepare, and ship your assets. Plus, you can take action on return merchandise authorization requests or your RMA requests to repair or replace customer assets with the RMA response workflow. So at this time, I'm actually going to hand things back over to Piyush, who's going to show us a demo of Device as a Service for us. So back over to you, Piyush.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. Please confirm you can see my screen on the demo.
We see it.
Perfect. Okay. Well, hello again, everyone. Brian touched on some of the personas and the solution, the purpose-built solution we are releasing with this Xanadu release. So let me start with some really a quick overview of ServiceNow Asset Management on a single platform before we dive into the device as a service demo. Right. So we continue to deliver a single asset management platform to all of our customer base and expanding on some of the industry-leading use cases. Today, we're going to focus on a new functionality design for that third-party asset providers, OEMs, or really anybody who provides assets as part of their device as a service offering. A solution for DaaS providers to oversee their asset inventory from sourcing to end of life in order to support their offerings in the marketplace. We'll cover the new Workspace in the demo, but it is important to highlight the two new workflows added with DaaS solutions. These workflows are specifically designed for DaaS providers to ensure that they have optimized assets are delivered to their customers quickly and efficiently. Let's consider a customer named Sarah here who needs a new asset. She submits a request for the new asset, and that request is directly handed off to the DaaS provider. From here, in red, there are a series of steps for fulfilling the asset order that we introduced with DaaS. These steps include selecting the asset, picking up that asset, preparing it, and then shipping that asset. And finally, customer Sarah confirms the receipt of this asset, and this entire asset lifecycle is automated within the DaaS solutions, right? So we'll begin our journey with Kevin. Kevin is a DaaS program manager at large OEM. He wants to scale his device service business while improving customer satisfaction. Before DaaS, Kevin had trouble integrating with each of the customer that he supported, resulted in a very high operating cost. So he starts with DaaS Workspace, a command center view for any of the personas working on supporting their organization's device as a service offering. And Brian touched on some of these personas, but I'm going to repeat some of these again. Depending on the organization setup, these personas may include your program or account manager managing those customers' assets, your traditional asset managers overseeing device life cycles, and then your technicians who are actually involved in inventory and repairing of these assets, right? Here, Kevin can find everything he needs in one place, saving time and managing work and progress without needing to visit multiple sites, multiple portals. An impressive feature of this solution is Kevin's ability to effortlessly filter the data by the account that he manages, because he could be managing multiple accounts as a device offering, which promptly then updates all of the metrics on the dashboard for that quick and informed decision making. Starting at the top, he's looking at important action cards relevant to the device as a service. He needs to keep track of the asset tags, serial number, service accounts, and stock rooms. So this way he can effectively support the asset in his stock rooms and ensure prompt fulfillment of customer requests. The Workspace also comes with many great reports that are out of the box, allowing Kevin to quickly identify work that really needs to be done. Things like inbound open orders, any task that still needs to be assigned. He can even visualize them in different stages. So his team has complete visibility over all incoming orders, RMAs, repairs that they will undertake. So this level of insight really keeps them informed, ensuring nothing falls through the crack. Now, notice at the bottom of the screen, he can track asset shipments for whatever carrier they have connected to. So he can ensure that the assets are dispatched and received properly. He can also proactively review the asset that are eligible for refresh for these customers, right? Allowing Kevin to work with his customer to ensure that they have access to the latest technology. Next, we want to talk about a couple of the updates we have made to the asset estate form. We've added a new section on the asset form for device as a service section. And now organizations that are managing both internal and customer production asset can easily differentiate their DAS asset from their actually in-house assets. We can even set these assets aside by assigning them to specific account. For example, if Kevin has a contract with Acme Corp to maintain 1,000 assets at all times, we can ensure that these account assets are not accessible to other DAS accounts. So really, in summary, by implementing this feature, Kevin gains that crucial insights and access to relevant workflows for maintaining efficiency and delivering top-notch services. All right. With that, I'm going to be handing it back to you, Brian, for the next section.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much, Piyush. It's really exciting to see hardware asset management continually expanding to support even more and more critical use cases for our customers. But in this next bit, we're actually going to explore the Xanadu capabilities tied to both hardware asset management and enterprise asset management, both features which can help drive improved inventory management at your organization. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so oftentimes our assets don't just sit in inventory waiting until their next deployment, right? So routine maintenance on inventoried assets is a very common practice to ensure that our assets are running at peak performance, even if they're temporarily idle. So when you evaluate your assets, you need a scalable repair process to get those defective assets that still have useful lives back into service. So if defective assets are no longer covered under warranty or an RMA, for example, how are we going to tackle repairs on our own? So inventory repair is a low-code prescriptive workflow that helps streamline the initiation, the execution, and tracking of asset repairs in repair deposits and warehouses. So through testing and quality control, asset managers can verify if assets are operable and ready to be deployed, or if the assets need to be disposed or replaced altogether. So great feature here to help continue the inventory management use cases. Let's move on to the next feature, which is still tied to inventory management and an expansion on our indoor mapping for assets feature that we released in a previous release. So currently, again, both hardware asset management and enterprise asset management leverage indoor mapping to help quickly locate and visualize the asset estate using an interactive indoor map of your buildings and your facilities. So spatial accuracy, precision, they're crucial, but it can be hard to achieve with complex buildings, layouts, maybe you have obstructions happening on your floors. So productivity is lost the longer it takes to find and deploy assets from your inventory. So inventory picking with indoor maps provides users with an intuitive mobile UI that leverages floor mapping and locating information to provide you step-by-step directions to assets in warehouses of any size. So asset managers and warehouse personnel can use inventory picking to locate, retrieve, and scan assets on the go. So with that, let's dive into enterprise asset management. I know we're getting close to wrapping things up here, at least from the presentation part. We'll jump into the Q&A right after. But before we do, let's dive into what's new for enterprise asset management. So it can be overwhelming and time consuming to manually sort through data when it's not separated by asset type. So the multiple departments responsible for asset classes and different functional areas also need a consolidated view or visibility into the assets that are directly under their management, without the noise of kind of every other asset being managed across the business. So EAM provides configurable workspaces mapped to asset classes to empower users to manage specific asset classes, such as industrial, your medical, your facility assets, with tailored workspaces for each department. So this ensures that each team only sees the data for the assets they manage, helping them improve their productivity with a holistic view of assets that they specifically care about. All right, next slide, please. All right. So we've made it to the last feature for EAM that we'll be highlighting on the ServiceNow platform Xanadu release, and we'll be talking about asset calibrations. So assets must be calibrated on a routine basis to ensure optimal performance, uptime, compliance with regulatory requirements. And if the assets are not calibrated on time or without properly adhering to specific policies or requirements, you could be faced with costly unplanned downtime. So calibration scheduling and tracking can be automated, reducing the risk of miscalibrations that can occur when calibrations are manually managed. Of course, human error does occur from time to time. You'll also gain a guided experience with mobile compatibility, so users can easily perform and document these calibration events even when they're in the field. So why not enable your asset managers and your technicians to quickly identify and address calibration needs and automate calibration tasks in alignment with industry standards, regulations, and internal policies that you've set. So I'll be handing over things over back to Piyush just one last time, who's going to show us this asset calibrations in action.
Awesome. Great. So let's dive into this, the asset calibration, right? But again, starting with you probably starting to see the theme here. We're all about life cycle, asset life cycle. So same with hardware, same with enterprise asset management. These are life cycle workflows are core innovations of enterprise asset management. And so today we'll discuss asset calibration, also known as asset inspection, often in the industry. Asset calibration enables asset managers to quickly identify and address the calibration needs, improving compliance and risk management. And so we'll start with Joe here, who is the enterprise asset manager at a large company. Joe uses enterprise asset workspace to oversee and maintain physical asset throughout their life cycle. The workplace serves as a control tower that allows him to monitor everything that's happening with his assets. Things like all the requests about his assets that are coming in, including any sort of safety or recall, any stock orders, any RMAs or transfer moves. He starts with work management module, and you'll notice a new tab for the calibration dashboard. The dashboard provides Joe with a comprehensive view of important information like calibration events that's been scheduled, any calibrations, any asset services that are overdue, any upcoming calibrations coming up, and then anything that his technicians are completing, needs to go through the verifications by Joe. So once technician completes the calibration, they need to be reviewed and verified by Joe as an enterprise asset manager. Can also identify any assets that have failed calibration in the field, and now he can track them so he can create tasks to remedy these failures. Now, for the purpose of this demo, we've created calibration tasks with schedules and attributes and assigned them to appropriate technicians on the floor. These are calibration tasks that are pending Bob, the technicians, to start the work on. document the activity, and then provide the updates back to Joe. Now, let's look at how Bob, the technician, can perform the calibration task and report the updates back to Joe. This is where we can really see the power of ServiceNow asset management solutions, right? Using the ServiceNow agent mobile app, Bob gets an immediate view of the task assigned to him. As soon as he clicks on start work, the calibration button appears where he can begin that playbook experience by documenting the environment. In this case, it's temperature and the humidity level for that asset. And once these tasks are marked as complete, it then leads him to all these other activities in the playbook. He can go through them one by one and record all of the proper attributes. And at this stage, once he completes them all, goes back to Joe, the enterprise asset manager, who then has an option to either accept or reject the calibration task. So this is how Joe and his entire team can improve compliance and risk management of equipment through the calibration dashboard. He can automate calibration scheduling and tracking using these prescriptive workflows. And then finally, the technician like Bob, can experience that next level of mobile compatibility on the go, allowing technicians to easily perform and document calibrations through mobile device. All right, so that concludes the asset calibration demo. I'm going to hand it back to you, Brian, for additional resource content.
All right, cool. Yeah, happy to step in, but I think actually Faith is going to take it on from here. So Faith, I'll let you take things over from here.
Okay, sounds good. So before we're going to hop over into our live Q&A session, we have a couple of housekeeping slides to go over with you all. So please stay tuned. First off, I've seen the chat. Some people have been mentioning if this recording will be posted. You can check out the ServiceNow community site, and it's going to be posted soon, probably in a couple days at least. And you can rewatch this recording to see any of the demos you want to see again, or just the whole thing. In addition to that, we really urge you to check out the community site, as we have a couple of Xanadu release blogs for you to all look at. So there's one for each product type. And also in these blogs, you can also see the links to the release notes if you want to dive deeper into any of our products. All right, and then we also wanted to do a quick plug. If you want to leave a G2 review for ServiceNow, you can scan this QR code and you'll have a chance to earn a $25 Amazon gift card. So G2 is a peer-to-peer review site where you can leave a review on ServiceNow ITAM to let us know what you love about our product and anything else that you want to review on. It's kind of like a Yelp for software businesses, we can say. So I'm just going to leave it up here. If you want a $25 Amazon gift card, you just have to leave a quick review. It should only take a couple of minutes. So this is a great opportunity to leave your feedback, and also you can give yourself a nice present at the end of the day. So I'll just leave it up here for a little bit for anyone to scan with their phone. You can also look it up on G2. You just search up ServiceNow G2. It'll also pop up. But if you use this specific QR code, this is how you're going to earn that Amazon gift card. Otherwise, if you just leave a normal review, you won't have the chance to earn a gift card. Okay, and then let's transition into our last housekeeping slide before we go into our live Q&A session. So just to review, this is everything that we've covered in the Xanadu release for asset management today. In software asset management, we had some new exciting dashboards to share with everyone. Cloud cost management had one big highlight about how to manage your spend for AI services, with Peach's demo along with that. And then for hardware asset management, we had a new call-up feature with Device as a Service that completely caters to a new demographic. So we're really excited to bring that one along and in the future expand upon it. For hardware asset management and enterprise asset management, we brought new updates to inventory repair and picking, so you can better manage all of your inventory across your hardware and enterprise devices. And lastly, for enterprise asset management, you can now calibrate your assets, but also have better organization with configurable workspaces to kind of see what you want to manage.